Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons. And we're going to talk about building worlds. Actually, we're going to talk about populating worlds. Dungeons & Dragons worlds. Dungeons & Dragons realms, right? We're dungeon masters, right? We're not some sad sack game master playing some game nobody cares about that 4 people are watching, 4 people are commentating on. We're playing Dungeons & Dragons. The reason no one can shut up about Dungeons & Dragons is right now in tabletop role-playing games, it's all that matters, right? Like the D&D has won, and its competitors do not put up points. That's the problem, right? And so the OGL and the OGL 1.0 champions and the OSR champions and the Indie champions, right? They can clap it shut until they put something up. Right now, they ain't putting nothing up, right? D&D's got video games left and right. They have, they are connected to Magic. They are connected to 3,000 world properties. Funko Pop, Lego, Magic the Gathering, right? They have a global franchise, American blockbuster on the way. Every time somebody hits play on Stranger Things, they got 4 seasons of Dungeon Masters, 4 seasons of Dungeons & Dragons, 4 seasons of Vecna, okay? And this is what I'm saying, right? If you are dungeon mastering, you got worlds to populate, you got worlds to craft, you got worlds to configure. What are they? They are Dominaria. They are Forgotten Realms. They are Cran, Dragonlance, right? You got worlds to configure for awesome, right? So how do you do it, right? So first of all, if you're a dungeon master today, right, and you care about momentum, you're not frozen in the amber of 1984 OSR, grognard, never change energy, right? And you want to bring top tier Dungeons & Dragons, you want to engage the people at your table, right? Then you need to reflect the IRL with your campaign, with your session, okay? How do you do that? Well, I'm going to talk about $1 billion Bravo, okay? So I am a defender. I am a champion of Dungeons & Dragons, right? You can go right, you can go left. You can find somebody squawking some noise that Dungeons & Dragons ain't doing it right. But what you will not find them doing is telling you where it's done better, right? They'll point you to other games that aren't D&D, that have half the traffic, that have half the engagement, that have half the commentators, that have half the awesome, and not even half. Probably a quarter, probably a tenth, all right? So the reality is, if you want to engage, if you want to stop telling your players to stop wanting awesome, and you just want to do your best to deliver it, listen up, because here's how you do it. Here's how you populate, here's how you configure Dominaria. Here's how you figure Forgotten Realms. Here's how you configure Dragonlance for awesome today, okay? And it's done with $1 billion Bravo, right? And it's not done with GarageBand energy, and it's not done with a bunch of OGL 1.0 whining. It's not done with a bunch of OSR whining. It's not done with a bunch of indie whining that do not deliver, do not compete, do not match, CC, right, C, that don't make the bar, right? It's done with Dungeons & Dragons. So let's stop pretending, and let's get on point, and let's start configuring Dungeons & Dragons realms, Dominaria, Forgotten Realms, Dragonlance. Let's configure them for awesome with $1 billion Bravo. What is $1 billion Bravo? $1 billion Bravo is James Cameron. We're going to talk about what James Cameron did to deliver $1 billion, a $1.4 billion mega hit in 2023 when ain't nobody going to the movies, right? Right? He's dragging it out. He's doing the work. And boy, I'll tell you, you listen to Grace Randolph, James Cameron, before he brought Avatar Way of Water, everybody was talking smack, including me. I said I did not want to see this movie. I was not interested in it, right? But James Cameron delivered a lot of hubris, a lot of arrogance, a lot of smack talk, and then he delivered. Everybody laughed until he delivered. He delivered, right? 1.4 billion. He can roll into any movie studio and he can say, you can shut your trap. I know how to tell stories, right? I know how to engage, right? I know how to world build. Every job you got as a dungeon master, James Cameron has already done it. Narrative master, right? Narrative king, right? Narrative engagement, narrative awesome. Every single thing you're responsible to deliver, it's already been delivered by James Cameron. So listen up. This is how you configure, right? You use the same $1 billion Bravo that James Cameron shoved into Avatar: Way of Water, shut every mouth about the movie, right? Shut every mouth squawking that Avatar 1 was nothing but a Pandora was nothing but a Pocahontas relift, right? He's like, y'all can shut it, right? Y'all can shut your traps and look at $1.4 billion, right? I deliver. That's Dungeons and Dragons, right? You can listen to all the noise of OGL 1.0 whiners. You can listen to all the OSR whiners. You can listen to all the indie whiners, right? D&D delivers. It's why it matters. It's why we talk about it. It's why every OSR won't shut about it. A commentator won't shut up about it. It's why every indie commentator won't shut up about it, because the world would rather discuss Hasbro's mistakes than discuss OSR and indie's achievements. That's the truth of it. So let's get to it, okay? So how did James Cameron configure a world to bring people back in and engage them with his narrative, right? Powerful world building, and the first thing that we need to talk about is we need to talk about your player character's movement, okay? Movement across Kryn, movement across Faerun, movement across Dominaria. How do they move, right? And what James Cameron did was he said, on Pandora, there's a water tribe and there's a forest tribe, right? So one factions, right? Now, that's delivered. You need to pay attention to your factions in each one of those worlds. You need to know the factions in each one of those worlds. You need to read the story of Brothers War. You need to know the story of Raceland, right? You need to know the story of the masked lords in Waterdeep, right? You need to know the factions and you need to use them well. Water tribe, forest tribe, right? Then how do the water tribe, how do they move, right? The water tribe. The water tribe move with the Elu and with the Skimwing, okay? And those are analogs to the forests. The forest tribe, how do they move? They move with the Direhorse, and they specifically move with the Mountain Banshee, okay? The Direhorse takes a Pandoran Na'vi and moves them on the ground very, very quickly. And it moves them with force and with power and with speed, okay? It's a horse like on Earth, okay? And then, right, when the Na'vi have mastered dealing with the dire horses, right, when the Forest Tribe Na'vi have mastered dealing with the dire horses, they go to the Mountain Banshee. The Mountain Banshee is a tiny little dragon that does not breathe fire, right? But it can fly, right? It can fly quickly, it can fly capably, and it can carry a mount, a Na'vi mount. It can carry a Na'vi rider, right? And so when we think about the Forest Tribe, you need to think about the Direhorse and the Mountain Banshee, right? It allows the Na'vi to move very, very, very swiftly with power and speed across the Pandoran surface, right? The Mountain Banshee allows the Na'vi to move above the Pandoran surface, to move in the floating mountains, right? To soar through the sky, right? To be able to drop down and attack at a moment's notice, right? All these are things that can be done with the Mountain Banshee, right? And the Na'vi have this ability to move. They have this ability to move on the ground with power and with speed. They have the ability to move above the Pandoran surface with power and with speed, right? In the air, flying, right? And get this, the water tribe, right? Metkayina, right? The water tribe of Pandora have exactly the same analogs in a water version. The Elu is exactly like the Direhorse, right? It can move in the water, right? And it moves with power and with speed, right? And it gives any Na'vi who can use an Elu the ability to dive deep, to go get treasures from below. It allows them to explore their world very, very quickly, right? And it allows them to range farther, range faster, and range with power, right? And the Skimwing is the same thing. It starts in the water, but it can fly above the water, right? And it can allow them to drop down for attack. It can allow them to move incredible distances at a moment's notice, very, very quickly, right? Just boom, 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 move, 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 right? It's very, very fast, right? And so basically, the first thing we need to take notice with James Cameron is he's like, hey, the player characters in my world, right? They move with power and they move with speed, right? They have mastery of the terrain. They have mastery of the terrain. They have mastery of the terrain, right? You still got your player characters walking around on Dominaria, walking around on Krynn, walking around on Faerun, right? And the reality is you need to get them an Eloy and you need to get them an Elu, yes. To get them an Elu, and you need to get them a Skimwing. You need to get them fast, powerful, incredibly impressive, incredibly exciting transportation on the ground, right? And transportation with a relationship. These are living creatures, right? So you need your player characters on Destriers or something much more epic, right? Do they ride on a team of direwolves, right? Are you going to, if they're on Dragonlance, are you going to give them all Dragonels, right? What does that mean? When they can drop out of the sky from 30 feet, and are you allowing your player characters right now to do a 30-foot drop attack, taking all 3d6 of the fall damage and put it directly onto one of their player characters? It's definitely worth it. I think it's worth it's worth reconfiguring your world and saying, remember how up a hill, down a hill, the way Tolkien did it in the 1950s? The world's changed, man. Look at the $1 billion Bravo and bring it to Dominaria, bring it to your Dungeons & Dragons worlds. Dominaria, Forgotten Realms, Dragonlance. Bring it. Bring that $1 billion Bravo. Forget the OSR nonsense. Forget that 1984 stuck in amber nostalgia journey that people are calling you to, right? And realize that you need to deliver real power, real narrative, real story, right, for the people at your table. Right? And you could do that with $1 billion Bravo. And one of the things that I'm saying here is right now, there's a clarion call, and you better pick a lane, right? There's people telling you, no, these evil corporations, they don't do anything. No, shut that noise, okay? Last year, we got 4 delivered, 256-page, full-color hardbacks, right? One brought by all POCs. Another in a amazing slipcase with literally 5 products in it. Another one doing a full renovation of an old classic, right? Just like really. Oh, and another one bringing celebrity energy to D&D. That's 1,000 pages of awesome, right? Y'all can shut that noise. The bean counters are delivering. Dungeons & Dragons is delivering. And I'll tell you right now, OGL 1.0 whiners, I'll tell you right now, OSR whiners, I'll tell you right now, indie whiners, y'all need to shut it if you ain't delivering. D&D is delivering right now, right? And so I'm telling you right now, there is a competition right now for every dungeon master, every game master, right? And they're saying, what do you want to do? Do you want to, and the world is saying, pick a lane. You want to pick that garage band, black and white, no delivery, nothing but excuses, energy, right? Because they couldn't get their books out, over the ocean, or do you want to attach yourself, right, and recognize that the bean counters have been delivering for years, right? The suits, the corporations, right? They deliver awesome books. They deliver them every 3 months, right? And there might be a bump in the road here or there, but it ain't that garage band nonsense energy. Right? So the reality is, this is America. Let's cut the noise, right? And just realize, be honest, right? You need the creators. You need the bean counters. You need the suits. You need the corporations. Hasbro ain't rich because they did nothing. They're rich because they delivered 4 books last year that outpaced every single OSR company, every single indie company, and outpaced every single OGL 1.0 whiner, right? They are there for a reason. And when they say OGL 1.1 should be, it should be, right? That ain't just something they thought up. It ain't something they trotted out. That went under test. That went under pressure, right? And the OGL 1.0, it needs to die. And the OGL 1.1, let it rain, right? So that's my point is, you need to be on that new baby. You need to be on that fresh, right? And I ain't taking it anymore. I'm not going to just sit here and watch a bunch of OSR and indie whiners try to steal, right, the best dungeon masters in the world, the best players in the world, the new players coming up, the new dungeon masters coming up, right? The reality is, no more garage band energy. This is America. Capitalism wins, right? And it delivers. It wins because it delivers. And I'm calling you out, OSR. I'm calling you out, Indy. You guys aren't delivering. It's just derivative stuff. And that's why you lose, right? So until you outsell Dungeons and Dragons, stop the flapping, right? Go back to the drawing board, do your work, do your labor, do your sacrifices. And until then, shut it. Ain't nobody want to hear it, right? And because the reality is D&D delivered last year, right? So it's getting to press down, right, and say we want the money because they delivered. And frankly, the OSR and the Indie didn't. That's my humble opinion. I'm ready to hear yours. Get in the comments. Send the traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing. Have a wonderful millennium.